My name is Jeremy. Welcome to Actual Faith. Now, no matter how big or small the natural disaster, we always remember the lasting impact of it. In fact, I remember just a couple months after taking the pastorate, on December 18th, 2018, we experienced about 5 minutes of an EF2 tornado that ripped through our small city of Port Orchard, Washington, with wind speeds touching about 130 miles per hour. Thankfully, no fatalities or serious injuries were reported, but there were approximately 250 homes damaged during the storm, including a few that had their roofs partially or completely torn off. I have been fortunate enough to escape the tragedy of severe natural disasters. But that doesn't mean that I won't ever experience this sort of devastation in my lifetime. As of the moment of this recording, a Category 4 or 5 Hurricane Milton is headed towards Florida's west coast. And this comes just days after the devastation of Hurricane Helene that destroyed parts of the Carolinas, Georgia, and West Florida, with the death toll reaching nearly 230 lives so far. Moments like this seem unimaginable and hard to comprehend the loss and tragedy involved. The term act of God is often used to describe a natural disaster that is perceived as beyond human control or understanding. It implies that the event was caused by higher power or divine force. As Christians, we must critically think about this phrase, act of God, and how it's understood and defined. Because if we're not careful, we might send the message that this natural disaster is a test or punishment from God. And for some apparent Christians, this is the precise message they are trying to get across. But is it the right message? Is it the biblical message? There are two main interpretations of how to view natural disasters or acts of God theologically. One concept is that natural disasters are direct manifestations of divine will, either as punishments for sin or as tests of faith. A prime example of this is found in Genesis chapters 6 through 9, when God is described as sending a great flood to destroy the world because of humanity's wickedness. We know that only Noah and his family were spared. Another instance wasn't too far off when God sent 10 plagues upon Egypt to convince Pharaoh to release the Israelites during the Exodus. These plagues included darkness, locusts, hail, and even the death of the firstborn. In the New Testament, Jesus had the authority and power to calm the winds and the sea. It's important to understand these examples and others as a part of a larger narrative within the Bible and should be interpreted within that context. While they may depict God as using natural disasters for judgment, they also often highlight gospel themes of redemption, forgiveness, and God's ultimate mercy. Another view to consider is that natural order was created by God, and therefore not necessarily a direct sign of divine intervention. The key word to remember is necessarily. It should be obvious to us that not every raindrop, wind gust, or shifting of the earth is judgment from above. There must be other reasons, and there are. Human factors and natural disasters have a reaping and sowing effect on climate. Human activities such as the burning of fossil fuels have contributed significantly to how climate might respond, which in turn increases the frequency and intensity of natural disasters like hurricanes, floods, and wildfires. Now, just in case you're thinking I'm a climate change propagandist, I'm not. I think this point gets totally oversold, but it's still important to understand. On top of that, simply clearing forests and altering natural landscapes can disrupt ecosystems and increase the risk of landslides, floods, and droughts. Building in disaster-prone areas, such as floodplains or earthquake zones, can dramatically increase the impacts of natural disasters. Listen, when you mess with God's creation and order, you can expect to take larger risks. Science affirms a deeper understanding of the natural processes that God created, which cause many of the natural disasters, such as plate tectonics, atmospheric dynamics, and hydraulical cycles. These concepts fly way over my head, but their explanations often do not require invoking divine intervention, judgment, or faith testing. While some natural disasters, like earthquakes, are difficult to predict, many others, such as hurricanes and floods, thankfully can be forecast with increasing accuracy through scientific methods. This suggests that these events are ordered by natural laws. Bottom line, while the term act of God may be used to express awe or reverence in the face of a powerful natural event, it's important to recognize that many natural disasters are influenced by human activities that can be explained through scientific understanding, but allowed of God. The concept of divine intervention is a complex theological issue that may be interpreted differently by individuals. However, remember, if you pin something as the judgment of God when it is not, you have a heavy weight of burden to bear. And that assumption may turn people away from their Creator and not towards Him. Thanks for joining me on this journey of faith. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more thought-provoking Christian content like this. If you have more questions about Jesus and His claims, be sure to watch the video linked in the description below titled, "What is Truth?" And remember, faith is not a blind leap of ignorance into the unknown. Actual faith is trusting and believing the unknown because of the known. Keep the faith.